Hey guys, welcome back to another video where in this one I'll be showing and showcasing some tips and tricks for you guys to use in battle, whether it's PvP or PvE. So I've been wanting to do this kind of video for a while, and I do have some requests for this kind of video, so without further ado, let's get started. So actually I'm going to head straight into Time Rift because this should showcase a lot of the strategies that I'm going to employ. Before you start the battle, it's always good to look at least like what kind of heroes that, the types of units that they have. So looking at this side, we have some flyers, and then looking at this side, we have some cavalry. So what I'm trying to do here is just look for any units that are out of position and look for where I can engage first. So if you look at the map, you can see that the flyers already gonna engage first because you can easily lure him in, so he's gonna be like the first one taken out if you do that. And these guys aren't near the position close to me, so I can safely avoid them for now. So what I need to focus on is kill this flyer first, which means I'll get my tank at the bottom and then all my guys grouping up so that we can focus on one unit. Seems like a good plan, so let's just try it. Now I could also use Matthew here to kill the guards, but usually if you just have 2 healers, it should be enough. Now the first thing we're going to talk about is baiting. So if you click on the danger zone, you can see that this is where all the units, if you're in the danger zone, you're going to definitely pull a unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to this little gap here, and you see it's got no defense, but that's alright. So I'm just going to move here. So it's better if you have a spot where it gives you defense, but that's not always you can always get that. So I'm going to move all my units and clump them into this place where they can only attack my tank. So I'm going to do that. Just stay here, and then at the very last I'm going to buff my whole team up. Now you see we get our first customer into this trap. So now we talk about initiative for a bit. Okay, even though he has the initiative attacking my tank, it's clear to me that after his move, then I'm the person getting the majority of the initiative, because he's only got initiative for one of his guys to attack. But look at this, I have 5 guys with initiative to attack 2 of his team. So this is this is the bread and butter of what you should be exploiting in these PvE scenarios, and also it works in PvP, of course. Looking at this, I'm just gonna heal up everything, I think I should do a redemption first to heal my team. So this danger zone won't tell me too much information now, because now these guys are in the way. So if I manually look at their movement squares, you can see the danger zone. So this would be the danger, and that would be the danger zone. And you look at the cavalry, then these squares will be the danger zone. So these will be in there. So if I move my Chris here, then they shouldn't aggro. So I don't want them to aggro because I want to deal with these guys first before I move on. Alright, so now I'm getting a lot of good heals, and now I'm going to take this guy out. So that should one shot. So don't underestimate healing in this game. That's another tip, because the more health your troop has, the more damage it's going to do. So it's not like other RPGs where if your health goes down then nothing really happens. It's not the case here. So you always need your troops in top form for this game to do maximum damage, which is the reason it's totally acceptable to bring 2 healers. It might be even fine if you have 3 healers in this game, because with healers you can get different troops. You can even get cavalry with healers, which makes up for their weaknesses. So I mean, a lot of the time it's perfectly fine to get a lot of healers, and this is the reason why self-sufficient units like Cherie is really good in this game, because they can heal themselves. So now I got one more target and I can just deal with that with Cherie, but I don't really want to use too many abilities, so I'm just gonna attack and see how much damage I do. Now they have a lot of defense. If so another part of this game is you need to judge like if you can kill a unit or not, and you look at the defense, it's huge. So I was sure I was gonna one shot, and even if I could one shot, I wouldn't really want to do it and I didn't want to trigger her passive because I want to keep her passive. So a lot of the game comes down to looking at these stats and looking at your stats and seeing if your stats can one shot him and predicting your damage. So you got to get a good grasp of that, so then you can predict if you can kill something or not. Now I'm just gonna move my Freya so I can aggro the horse. So the horse can attack here, so I'm gonna go move my Freya somewhere here. So we're gonna lure the next part of the troops in. So I'm just gonna stand here. And I believe I'm gonna do a massive heal, but I don't think it's needed. Actually, I might want to do a massive heal now, because I want her to regen. She's gonna tank a lot of damage, so I need her to regen right now. I have this accessory which makes me invulnerable to movement down, and that's really essential if you have a tank. Like if you get the accessory for movement down immune, then definitely put it on your tank. That's one of the best things you could do for her. So now I have this passive from Cherie where I can kill the archer. So if I kill this guy, I can kill the archer. But you gotta ask yourself, is that a good idea? Because if I kill the archer, then everything, like if I go up here and kill the archer, then I'm gonna get retaliated on by this flag, because this flag can move 5 squares. So you gotta ask yourself, is that a good idea? And most likely the answer is no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bait them even more. So because the archer can kill one of my units, which means I'm going to move away. So I'm gonna back off even more my Freya somewhere here. Just gonna make a tactical retreat. So this is another tip: don't be afraid to retreat. It's not dishonorable at all in this game. You gotta do anything to win. So gonna make a tactical retreat here. Now with my Luna, I'm going to kill this horse, see if I can kill the horse. Okay, he got guards. So the answer is no. And then, but I disabled the Lanta, which is good. So now with my Liana, I can take care of the serpent. So I'm gonna move my Cherie to guard the unit. And then I'm gonna use my Chris to take care of the horse. Now the reason is I don't want the archer attacking me. If I had initiative on the archer, then I would have put my units at risk. So I didn't want the archer attacking anything at all. So this is why I made a tactical retreat. So if I moved anywhere close to that archer's range, he would have got like a cheap shot on me for free. So this is something else you got to keep in mind. So you got to trade your damage well. So if you do good trades, then you're going to likely come out on top. Now looking at this situation, I can definitely take out the archer in one shot. And then I can, but he's got a guard, so see, yeah, he doesn't have mobility down, so I have to take care of the guard unit first. And I believe I can do that with Luna, so cripple the guard unit a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cripple the guard unit and then probably use Liana to make her cripple it twice. So let's see if I can do that. So he's got a mobility down now on the guard unit. Now if you look at the mobility down icon, it says cannot guard. So this means that, you know, he's lost the guard, which means I can sweep up the rest with Cherie. Now you have to ask yourself, is that a good idea? Like, is that a good idea to kill these two units? Because then she's kind of out of position. The thing is, I can use again on her to let her escape. So it could be a good idea. So the answer is yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mop up these two units. Now I'll use Thunderbolt first, even though it's overkill. I want the passives for her to trigger, so that's the reason I'm using Thunderbolt first. Now I'll kill this guy. Now I could actually just guard her, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm gonna guard her right now, so it's gonna be fine for her. And this lance can't get to my Freya, so that's completely fine. So I can use my Chris to... No, I can't, so she's got a cooldown. But what I can do is... So this is what I mean by good trading. So any like ranged unit is really good at trading, and especially in this scenario. So I don't believe a flyer will attack my Chris. They'll likely attack my archer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this move, a range move on the water unit, and that's going to weaken him up so that he can't kill my tank, hopefully. Okay, so the flyer went for Freya. Okay, that's really bad, but at least I got attack up, attack down. Okay, so that was some lucky things going on. I could have easily lost my Freya there because her troops aren't very well upgraded. So that was quite lucky. And now I'm going to move somewhere here, and I'm going to attack. Okay, now if I look at the danger zone again, this troop can't reach my Luna, so I'm safely, you know, out of their danger zone, so that's completely fine. And for this guy, I'm gonna finish him off with the redemption, so heal up my whole team. Wow, there's so much magic defense going on, and I don't have a buff, so that wasn't able to kill him. But I can finish it with Cherie, so... Now there's a treasure here, so I'll get it next with Cherie. Now I'm not gonna... is it a good idea to bait? That's the question. So actually I'm gonna use my next turn to get the treasure and buff. That's what I'm gonna do. Now you have to think, how do I approach this? So the best way to approach it is from what angle, you know, you have to ask yourself that. So I believe the best way to approach it is from north, because this way you can lure cavalry somewhere here, and once you bait the cavalry up, he's a sitting duck. So I'm not going to show the rest of the video because I feel like it was a repeat of the same thing, and plus I got a bit greedy and I went for the treasure, which didn't make me able to get 3 stars in time. I was just lacking 1 turn. So before I end the video, here's a quick recap of what I showed you in the video. So learn that initiative is important, so you want your whole team to go first, so this way it ensures you get a really great trades in. And how do you capture the initiative? Well, a great way is baiting them in, luring them so that they're out of position, so that you guys are in position to make the kill on their stranded units. So that's in PvE mostly, but you can do that sometimes in PvP as well. And you don't underestimate healers in this game because it's different to other RPGs. The more health you have, the more damage you're going to do with better troops. So use a tank if you don't already, in PvE especially, so you can lure stuff in without taking too much damage. And make sure you trade your damage well. Use archers, use range to get some cheap shots in so you can trade better, stuff like that. Some AoE, mage AoE would be good as well. And make sure you mix up your team's composition. Make sure you have a bit of everything so you have good counters at your disposal. Alright, so here are some other tips which are not as important but still good to know. I'm just going to go over them briefly. So make sure you check the stats of each troop when you're fighting them so you can predict your damage and see if you can one shot or get them to a certain amount of health. That's going to greatly increase your chances of victory. Check the enemy's abilities and traits and all that, especially in World Arena, so you know what to ban. Okay, and there's this mechanic in this game where you have to kill the troop first before your damage gets through to the hero, which means that if you mix up your troops, you can cover for their weaknesses. Say there's a lot of enemies like in PvE where it's like a succubus and the succubus has bats. So it's a ranged monster unit, demon unit, and it has bats. So you'd think that with a cleric hero and a cleric troop, you can fully kill that creature, but the answer is no, you wouldn't be able to usually, because the bats aren't weak to your clerics, and if you would just attack that unit, it's likely that you're going to make an unfavorable trade. So make sure that you take that advantage of that and mix up your troops as well. And it's okay to retreat, so don't be a hero. Sometimes you have to make this tactical retreat in order to claim your victory. And also, the most important thing undoubtedly in this video is a danger zone. So if you don't know that already, please give it a shot. So yeah guys, that being said, hope you've learned something from this video and hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for more content like this. Peace out guys.